What's up, guys? So this is, let's see, my second video, and I'm actually going to show you guys the winner of the mobile category of the 2018 Game Awards. So again, this is a small mini series where I'm going to play each of the games and show you guys who the nominees were and who the winner is. And this is the winner. So the winner is a game called Florence. Now, remember I told you guys in the Game of Thrones video, like, there's going to be videos here that I would never ever play in a million years. Like, this is probably one of those games, being totally honest. However, I think it's important to still look at things subjectively, and maybe something isn't for me, but it doesn't mean it's not for everyone, right? It's just this type of genre isn't really my thing. This is very much, and you can see there's some gameplay involved. So for example, here I'm supposed to, I didn't even know what I was supposed to do initially, but you're supposed to like match up the same numbers, and this is not, it's more like a visual novel, if that makes sense. So it's not like your traditional game. Now let me give you the premise of what this is. This is basically a story of a 25-year-old girl named Florence who seems like she's going through somewhat of a quarter-life crisis, because she's having conversations with her mom. She seems like a lonely, like not super excited about work type of person. She has these moments, these really important moments throughout the game where you, and even here, for example, to get her to eat, you have to like tap each thing. So game mechanics wise, it's very elementary. This is something a kid could do, right? Like, it's not going to require skill here. Like the toothbrush, you're just like swiping back and forth, right? So you can see some of the game mechanics there. There's beautiful music in the game. So sound wise, like A+, the music is beautiful. There's no talking, and I had to play this twice, you guys. This is how much I care about y'all, and I'm committed to this channel. This is not my gig. I recorded it, it didn't record. I had to play it over again, right, to be able to like actually get this to record. So this is the second time that I'm going through it. So I was going through it a little bit quickly, because this was literally like one day apart that I played it the first time and the second time. Here she's basically having like a flashback, and it lets you like decorate the butterfly, decorate the boat. Like, I think genre wise and the demographic that they're trying to target here, this is definitely targeted towards women, maybe younger women, right? Like, I could see like preteen girls being really into this kind of thing, right? Because it lets them think about like what their life as an adult will be. Some adult women might be really into it, right? I think it talks about some of the things that women kind of go through, and just people in general, right? Like, the story in of itself is like a self-exploration story, where for sure there is a central relationship that takes up a lot of the story, and a lot of the game mechanics are around her falling for this specific guy. I don't want to give too much away. This is the hard part, because I didn't show you guys the entire game played through. Here we're doing some math, right? She's flashbacking to like, at first I was like, wait, really? I have to do math? No way. But yes, you're basically going to like drag and drop what the answers are. And if you notice what just happened, she was drawing or coloring or painting or whatever, and her mom comes by and she's like, no, you have to focus on your studies. And I think that is the best premise of the game, like seeing how she reacts to the fact that she has all this like want of art and love of art, but she can't do it. Another thing I wanted to show you guys when it comes to game mechanics, and why I think this was done really well, is you're basically controlling the clock by basically using your finger and swiping all around, and it shows the progression of time. So I would say overall the game is incredibly clever, right? So I cannot be into this genre of game or whatever and still find places where the game showed its brilliance, right? I felt like the way that they did that worked really beautifully. This is a part in the game where all of a sudden it goes, and I haven't seen games do this, it goes from like vertical to horizontal. So I'm like, oh my god, the drama this is gonna cause me when I'm editing. I don't even know, right? Like, and basically it shows her like listening to her headphones, battery dies, happens to all of us, especially me, where my battery literally lasts like 30 minutes now. It's like terrible. I totally need a new phone. Waiting for bonus time to be able to do that. And here you're basically helping her walk by touching the musical key. So again, they incorporate game mechanics to help you progress the story, But this game is not about the gaming. This game is about the story. So that's where I feel like there's a disconnect in what most of the people that are probably subscribed to my channel versus somebody else. And this feels like the right type of thing to get people into mobile gaming. Like, if you're someone that's never done it, but you're really into this kind of thing, you might be like, oh, that was kind of cool, and I actually had fun on my phone, and maybe I want to try another mobile game, right? And then this is the man of the game. This is the guy that she falls for, and it basically explores their relationship in like a really funny way, where she like ends up crashing. And again, they have a really complicated game mechanic. So here it goes back to like Vertical, and I was like, what? And it's divided into chapters. But one of the game mechanics, this is called Crash. The game mechanic here I found a little bit annoying that they incorporate. So she kind of sees them from the back, and you basically have to work with these two scales to basically get that image to clear up. And I don't know why this bugged me so much. It was just like really annoying. And I guess it was more annoying the second time, like obviously, right? Because I'm doing this and I don't want to do it because I hadn't recorded the first time. Like the first time I didn't record. And some of them took a little bit longer than others. So when they throw in that third row of the sliding scale thing, it was like a pain in the butt, right? Because you're trying to basically do two things. You're trying to get the image inside the frame, but you're also trying to get the image clear. And with two, it was kind of annoying, but like not too bad, right? Because you're only playing with two different levers. But then when they put in three, it was getting like obnoxious. I was like, oh my God. And I struggled with that third. I don't know why. It was like hard. Like I didn't know if it was like the first or the second. But again, I think it's very clever how they incorporated these types of game mechanics to help you progress through the story. And the sound is beautiful. And the interesting thing is, the guy that she's interested in and ends up having a relationship with is, I believe, a cello player. So he's like classically trained. So it's no surprise that the soundtrack is so beautiful. I feel like the game really focused on the soundtrack. But I think even visually, guys, like if you take it, don't take it for just, oh, it's just like a storybook. Like actually think about the fact that they're able to push people through an entire story, because this thing, it goes beyond this relationship with this guy. Like it keeps going and going, and I don't want to again give too much away for those of you that are interested in playing it, but they did a really amazing job saying a lot without saying anything, right? Like it's not like you're reading the story. It is absolutely a visual novel with gameplay elements incorporated to help you progress through. Now again, not my cup of tea. I don't tend to gravitate towards these things, but, and you can see here, the struggle is real with the three levers. Oh my God. It was like level 1, level 2, level 3, and I could not get them to like, and then I'm like, well, do I want him to have like, to be smaller or bigger? Like, is he the right size right now? Like his head looks kind of all wonky, like, right? It was really obnoxious, but when you finally get it, you're like, huh. And they incorporate this, I thought was really clever. Another thing they incorporate is when you're speaking. So when characters are speaking to each other, they're kind of thought bubbles or text bubbles rather. Don't actually say any words. They're actually puzzles that you have to solve for her to be able to speak. And it's interesting because when they go, and here she like totally lands digits, you know, she gets Krish's number. And then the next thing is where I can show you guys what the thought patterns look like, and I'll give you guys a little bit of insight. So here they're on their first date, and it shows him saying something to her, and then she wants to talk to him back, but it's pretty complicated, right? Like there's multiple pieces to the puzzle of what she wants to say, so you basically have to build it for her to be able to respond. But the response doesn't come back in words, it just comes back like a block of color. So I would say this, the interesting thing is when they start arguing, and when the more comfortable she gets, the least amount of pieces needed. Right? So again, pretty clever, right? Like she gets more comfortable with them, so all of a sudden it only takes 3 pieces versus like the 9 pieces that it took initially. And then when they're totally pissed off at each other and fighting and bickering, it's literally 1 piece, and it's all about the speed. Like how quickly are you responding to his, like, you know, argumentative whatever speech that he's giving you. Like you're basically going back and forth and fighting. So overall, I thought the game, let's see, the 3 things that I think about: sound, amazing. The music is beautiful. I thought the music worked so well. What else? Visually, I thought they did an amazing job. Now, the reason that I thought they did an amazing job is because they were able to visually bring you through the story. And I walked away with like a lot of, what is the word? Like depth to this. Like I walked away with like, wow, this girl had this like dream that she put on the back kind of back shelf, focused on having like the career that her family wanted, and she always wanted to explore this particular thing. And it wasn't until, you know, her relationship didn't go right that she was able to kind of focus on herself and explore that artistic side of her. And so it's like a deep story. Like, it's not like at first I thought, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a stupid romance story, oh my god, womp womp, like I'm not even gonna be into this. But there was actually like a good underlying theme that I think is important for young girls, especially who might play this game, to understand. Like, there's more than just relationships, and there's more than just doing what other people want you to do, but really thinking about like, what is your passion and what do you want to do in life. So I'm getting like super like annoying right now. I'm sure most of you guys are like, oh god, but legit, that's kind of what I took away from it. This is a very romantic scene. This is as much as romantic as it got, right? Like, it wasn't all about this kind of stuff. But I will say, visually, I thought it did so amazingly, because without any words, it was able to bring you through the journey. And then gameplay-wise, for me, being subjective, so genre aside, this is not my gig. I've said that a million times. Taking that aside, I think gameplay wise, it was interactive. They made it very, very interactive. You can see here he's thinking about his dream, and like, you have to basically uncover what that is. So they did a good job there, right? They could have been really lazy throughout most of this and just show it with the images, but instead they forced it to be interactive. Now, do I think they should have won the Mobile Game of the Year award? I don't know, because to me, this isn't a mobile game. If you look at the other categories, right, like Game of the Year, you have Red Dead Redemption, God of War, you have Overwatch in there, right? From a caster's perspective, you have like some of the big games, real games. So I felt like it was kind of like they went like the really artsy-fartsy route in terms of selecting the winner for the mobile category, which kind of was a bummer. They could have done better when it relates to that. I'm sure, I think their nomination, being nominated, I think was the most that it should have gotten, just because of the fact that this is truly a gaming award. Here she is basically seeing herself in her dream version, right? So that's kind of like my thoughts. Again, not the type of thing that you'll normally see on my channel, but we're all here trying new things. So let me know if you have comments below. Let me know if you plan on playing it. I am so curious. If anyone plans on playing this game, please post it down below, because I don't think anyone will. But if you do, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching.